Yo, what's happening, people? Welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host Jan. I hope you are all doing well today. The dawn of a new day. I really do hope that. As you can see, I've got the beautiful away kit of the early noughties with lamps on the back. Obviously, in my last video, I was elated, excited. I still am. I drank a little bit of gin last night, and I'm a little bit hungover and tired, so although I'm desperately happy, don't expect the same energy. Anyway, welcome back to Chelsea news, I guess. The daily series here on Football Therapy where I cover what's big. Look, to be honest, I'm not going to be looking that deeply into the headlines today. It's an important day for football. Not quite as important as yesterday, but it is the dawn of a new day, and I want to talk about Chelsea's official statement, officially withdrawing from the European Super League. The house of cards that Florentino Perez built has fallen. All 6 Premier League teams have withdrawn from the European Super League, which I thought they'd officially legally committed to. We'll have to see what happens there. And football is changing. American owners are sweating. Ed Woodward has resigned from Manchester United. So all the United fans are rejoicing. It's up and down the country, across the globe. Fans have used their voice, put their foot down, and really demonstrated to football owners how they are temporary custodians of clubs when no matter what happens, these owners will be born, live, and die, and these football clubs will never belong to them because they represent so much more and they are connected to millions of people's lives, and that is a great strength that you will never overthrow. So subscribe to Football Therapy if you're new to this channel and you want daily content regarding Chelsea FC. Usually more informative. The last few days has been a little bit more emotional, of course. I'm sure you can understand that, being a Chelsea or football fan watching this, of me being a Chelsea fan, someone who's had football as a big important part of their life and felt incredibly threatened at this proposal. And oh man, I was so emotional yesterday, but I feel good today. I realised my instantaneous reaction emotional video yesterday with the thumbnail Chelsea saved football was probably a little bit much. I've seen in the comments non-Chelsea fans quite rightly highlighting how Chelsea signed up to this in the first place. And of course, I'm lucid enough to know what Chelsea represent in the Premier League, but I'm also lucid enough to know what Roman Abramovich has brought to the community in the UK of late, and how Chelsea have developed the brand of the Premier League. Yes, I'm still ashamed they signed up to it, but I am still proud they were first to withdraw. Not officially, but to put the paperwork in and pretty much have the news break out first. So whether you're a Big Six fan or you're a fan of your local non-league club or a football league club, this is a joyous time for all the football because it was going to be hugely damaging. I'm going to talk about Chelsea's football match yesterday and the ramifications of that. Let's read through Chelsea's statement though that they put out to explain how they've withdrawn from the Super League. Club statement. As reported earlier this evening, Chelsea Football Club can confirm that it has begun the formal procedures for withdrawal from the group developing plans for a European Super League. Having joined the group late last week, we have now had the time to consider the matter fully and have decided that our continued participation in these plans would not be in the best interest of the club, our supporters, and the wider football community. Funny how you didn't consider that. You just signed up in a few days and it took the world's reaction for you to have a sobering moment and go, oh yeah, not so good. I preferred probably the Arsenal statement when they actually said, we're sorry to the fans, because damn right, you should be sorry. Anyway, I'm thoroughly enjoying the collapse of Florentino Perez's, like I said, his house of cards collapsing. Some of the stuff this man was coming out with in recent days that I've said on this channel, in previous recent videos about how he wants to shorten matches to hold the attention of teenagers, how really he only cares about getting the 16 to 24-year-olds on board. A lot of you might be in that age bracket, and I think a lot of you are probably already happy with football. So for a 76-year-old white man to tell you what you want is pretty condescending and just ludicrous, really. And he called everyone else legacy fans. He talked about the FIFA and Fortnite generation. It just stuff that's really unsavory. And not just the big six have pulled out, most of his other big cats have now. And I'm pretty sure they've already said, look, all right, we're going to stop for the moment and think about this and try something later. Well, you could friggin' do one, mate, because you have failed. Football has won, the fans have won, and hopefully we can put in some form of like organisation that can like audit clubs and make sure they're not going to do anything like this again to protect the game of football. Again, I want to take on my platform here, fans of every single club, not just the big six, everyone who stood up and used your voice. For the last few days, I was making YouTube videos on it. I was talking about, you know, showing my disdain on that, Instagram, Twitter, talking to people on the phone who I know. I was just literally, I didn't stop, I barely slept. So I thank you to everyone who put in the effort and really showed what football means to you. It's so important, you know, not that I'd ever hear it, but of course you'd want to thank the likes of Gary Neville, Jamie Carragher. I think this, for the last couple of days, is the only couple of days I haven't thought about how he spat on a 14-year-old girl. That just absolutely repelled me. Maybe a moment of madness from him, of course, but still, wonderful work from them. Even the likes of, you know, Gary Lineker tweeting just because of his outreach. Stuff like that, all massively important. The plan has failed. The European Super League will not happen. Football will continue to be a sport governed by merit and winning and effort and reward and the distribution of wealth down the football pyramid to ensure every club gets a slice of the pie. And that's a beautiful thing. We've all been through such an emotional like roller coaster. Difficult, man. Anyway, let's put that in a box and throw it away forever and talk about football. Chelsea are in the top 4 but okay, I'm gonna be real. Chelsea, of course, played Brighton. All the coverage and interactions prior, after, in between was barely about the game. It was all about, you know, the big news. But Chelsea played at home against Brighton. The kickoff was postponed because they couldn't get to the bridge because of the mass protests, rightly. But eventually they played Brighton. I'm going to show you the Who Scored graphic to show you what lineup Thomas Tuchel put out for this game. Rather interestingly, but actually less and less worryingly, he put Kepa Arrizabalaga in goal. No Azpilicueta in the back three. It was Andre Christensen with Rudiger and Zuma, interestingly. Marcus Alonso also, interestingly, returned at left wing back. Reece James, right wing back. Let's raise another eyebrow to Mason Mount playing in the double pivot midfield. Next to Jorginho, with a front three of Kai Havertz, Ziyech and Pulisic. Now, on the surface, this seems like a kind of crazy mental lineup, but at the same time you think, alright, Kepa's done alright recently. We've always said Mason Mount has the ability and traits to play in that midfield. We like Hakim Ziyech, right? We all like Hakim Ziyech, or we should do. Pulisic, great. Havertz done well as a 9. Alonso, he was great under Tuchel when he first came in. That is an incredibly attacking lineup. Ooh, watch how many goals we score at home. And none. The thing is, it's very difficult to judge this game because I think the players found out just before kickoff, probably. Yeah, I think they did just before kickoff, that the Super League's not happening. Their heads must have been all over the gaff. I mean, football players generally didn't want it to happen, of course, for a load of reasons. You know, they didn't want to lose the competition of football. There would have been salary caps eventually. There's like a whole host of reasons why footballers wouldn't have wanted it. So emotionally, they would have been all over the gaff. So it's very difficult to fully judge this game, but Chelsea were pretty bad. And in fact, Brighton had more chances than Chelsea, and you could argue they deserved to win the game. Very frustrating. Because there were so much changes to the lineup or missing integral figures, like missing a Kovacic or N'Golo Kante, missing a Cesar Azpilicueta, and missing Mason Mount in the front three, playing that little bit higher. I'm not saying he can't play that functional role. Chelsea didn't concede in the end, and he is very intelligent on the ball, but I think we do lose something offensively not having him as one of these number 10s, linking the striker in the midfield and stuff. So with that, there's a lot of stuff that was off. Hudson-Odoi came on, Reece James moved over to left wing back. It was all very weird. Chelsea did try to win it. I don't really want to criticise Thomas Tuchel too much either, purely because of the situation. He was so stressed out and he just wanted to talk about football, but he couldn't. It was all a bit of a sort of mess, but Chelsea's point just sees them into the top 4, and you know, which is mad. We could have gone 3rd, I believe, I'm not entirely sure anyone can actually take us out of the top 4. No, because that was the extra game in the game week. I think Leicester still need to play, but whatever, they're above us, you know. But at the moment, we're in the top 4 above West Ham on goal difference, I believe. We've got to beat them, really, haven't we? We've got to beat West Ham when we play them. This is thoroughly disappointing. I was disappointed with the performance, but at the end of the day, I'm genuinely, and this is very rare that you say this about your football club, I'm genuinely willing to give it a free pass because of the seismic, gargantuan stuff going on around the game. It's good that we didn't lose. The point took us into the top 4, but ultimately, it was a crap game. What else are you going to say? So let me know what you think about the game. Let me know about your thoughts about everything generally. I urge you all to comment down below. I thank you for visiting my channel and supporting my content. Drop a like if you want to show your support. Of course, feel free to subscribe and hit that important bell notifications icon. And I love to say it, so enjoy the football, and I'll see you later.
You ain't so tough with that bad boy tuck. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought. Body bag the verse, outlined in chalk. In my life seen trouble, hustle on the double. Silence on the trigger like my pick got a muzzle. Yo chick like to guzzle, bad boy stay in trouble. I only love this paper, sorry I don't. I laugh me, baby.